The colonial project, yes, was about taking the wealth, the mineral resources of the country, and that you could get back if you grow enough courage, by the way. But what is it that makes us not grow sufficient courage to take back what is ours? It is because the colonial project took much more than money from a black person. It took away our humanity. So we can have as many judges as you like, you can have as many presidents as you like, and you can have many members of parliament as you like, and they can be as black as you like. One thing about each one of them is that they do not like blackness. They do not like themselves. And for everything they do, they seek white approval before they do it. They don't seek your approval. The reason they tell you about something called the balance of forces, in short terms, in simple terms, what our comrades call the balance of forces, is nothing but a justification for fearing a white minority in our country. That's the forces they are balancing. So, we gather. NgesiZulu sikubiza ukuzobhonga emswaneni. Laba bazi isiZulu bayazi ukuthi ngisho ukuthini. But two, last time I spoke about this, it was people in Phoenix who died yet again. Ngathi lesisho sesiZulu si deep singifaka in trouble because people say I'm asking for revenge, which I am asking for. Sithi akukho zinyane lemvubu ladliwa zingwenya kwacweba iziziba. Now, of course, people literally think I'm asking for people to go out and kill others and revenge. No. I'm asking each one of us to make sure that the suffering, the death of people in Marikina, in Phoenix, in Guguletu, in Nyanga, in Langa, in Sharpeville, and everywhere else where an African blood has been spilled, must not happen in vain. You may be next. You definitely may be next. And this is not a question that only black people must do. It's something that all of those who recognize humanity and human emancipation must do. And that doesn't have to be black. The human spirit exists in each one of us. And these are truths that are about each South African, black, white, striped, and dotted. And so I'm happy that I'm here today, but I'm unhappy that we're celebrating, we're commemorating something that shouldn't have happened. The Marikina massacre, as I said, was a symptom of the attitude of South Africa's new leaders towards their own people, towards poor African people. It was a marker, a shining light to expose what slaves do to other slaves when they taste power and become nothing but an extension of the old, exploitative, white capitalist and murderous hand. It is an utter shame about which they show no remorse. We can spend, how many years is it now? 11 years. We've been asking one man to say sorry. And he hasn't. And when I say one man, I don't mean Cyril Ramaphosa only. I mean the entire cohort that administered the death of their own people. We're not asking for money. They can't say sorry. It's not because of pride, by the way. It's because the value of your life, because you are black, because you are African, is not recognized. I tell you now, the day 2 white South Africans die the way we have died, this country will change. I don't know whether for the better or the worse, but it will change. It tells you what we mean, not only to those who oppressed us, but what we mean to those we entrusted with our country to lead us. We mean the same to them that we meant to those who killed our people in Soweto or Sharpeville and everywhere else. They do this sometimes unconsciously, and sometimes in the name of sophistication, they ignore the cries of our people. They have imbibed as common sense the neoliberal logic and see it as something that must be done because it's universal. And it keeps our miners down underground working for something less than 12,000 rand, because if they went beyond that, the threat of concomitant action will come for them to die for demanding something most mine owners spend having a dinner or breakfast with a friend. They kill and poison each other these days. And you would think they fight because they differ about how best to live African lives. No, they fight about who must take the biggest crumb from the table of their master. They crave the recognition of the system that their people ask them to fight. We kill, we condemn, and despise ourselves. In our tragic and contradictory quest to seek freedom, whose basis is the permanent happiness of oppressive classes that we hate. We are a pathetic lot, if we must admit. We are a pathetic lot because we are a majority that should not accept one woman, one African woman, one African man to go to sleep, to bed hungry. We shouldn't, if we valued our lives. And for that, I say we must seek to stop, if we can, our desire to seek validation from people who don't like our race, people who don't like other people, and create a South Africa between black and white and everybody else that value human life because it's human life, not because it's white. We shouldn't be here 30 years later. The Marikina massacre, therefore, is a symbol of our colonially learned attitude toward black lives. Our entire political settlement, I'm not being ungrateful when I critique this settlement, because we liked it. We were fooled to think it was something nice. We voted, we formed